I don't know no fucking Kiana, man.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Talk is Cheap with Kiana J. I am your wonderful host, Kiana J. And I'm here with Arthur. Introduce yourself.
How you doing? My name is Simeon. I am a author, model, photographer, and serial entrepreneur. I often forget the entire list of everything.
Yeah, I was going to list all that, but you do a lot of things. So I was going to let you handle that. um, you're not new to this. You've been on my show a few times. So you're a vet, so you know how this goes. I wanted to interview you again because I read your book. I ended up buying it because I had seen you post it. So um, let's get into it. You know what? Where are you from, actually?
I'm from Chicago,
Chicago. Okay, and that's where you located.
in Milwaukee right now.
Oh, okay, okay. How'd you move to Atlanta?
Mm-mm.
Oh no. Well, okay. So, what made you want to write this book?
It was title gives it away. It was a note to myself, but it was me writing to myself from 5 years from now, telling myself how I got to where I want to get to and be who I want to be, more importantly. And I wrote it in a way that anybody reading could relate to it. But a lot of people have the same thoughts, the same worries, the same goals, or similar aspirations. So it was a book to, show people how to do the work themselves. Because doing the work is the hardest part, but just as hard is not knowing what to do or how to do it. So I wrote the book and included questions and prompts so people can actually do the work for themselves by themselves.
Was this the first book you ever written?
So far, I'm starting my second book very soon.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I was reading this book while I was working overnights, and the way you have it set up from like beginners, middlers, and finishers. Um, with that being said, you break down the process of trying to achieve success, correct?
Mhm.
Was that the exact process that you went through?
Yes, yes, it was. So, and it's not just for me. This
Uh
is
huh.
this can apply to everything. For whatever you're doing, you have to start somewhere. Even if you have a base, even if you have, parents or people who have done it and can help you, you personally have to start somewhere. So regardless of whatever you're doing, everyone has to be the beginner first. And oftentimes that's the hardest part because no one wants to be the beginner. No one wants to fail. No one wants to feel or look stupid. No one wants to feel awkward. No one wants to feel scared. No one wants to feel alone. And oftentimes, you're going to feel most of those, if not all of those. So that's the first step. And then if you are consistent and if you continue down that path and you continue to do that work, then you get to the middle of your journey and you face new problems. And then once you learn and you adapt to those new problems, you can actually finish your goals. You can actually finish your tasks.
Okay. Okay. I was also reading in here. Where it is? Where is it? About some of your personal life up in here. Did you
A little bit. A little bit.
you threw that in there to did you throw some of your personal issues in here to try to help people with their personal issues or to let them know that you know the things that the challenges that you have. to help you get through a lot of the things you went through in your life. Do you
I
get
would
what
say
I'm saying?
both. I would say both, but neither. So
Okay.
in terms of writing, I still wanted to, the entire book is written to myself. So when I mention personal things, I'm reminding myself,
Hmm.
hey, you feel like you haven't done anything, but you already have forgot that you've made it past this. You've made it past this. You've made it past this. And in the beginning stage, oftentimes we forget, oh, I've already done that. I've already done that. I have been through this. I should learn from this, or I should have learned from this. And that's why I include, a little bit of my personal life, because I'm talking to myself, literally. So I'm telling myself that, hey, when you read this again, when you're 30, you will understand. When you read this, when you get to where you want to get to, you will understand. But right now, you may be scared. Right now, you may be going through whatever you're going through and you don't understand. So I wrote it for myself, but I also wrote it for a lot of other people who are going through that or going to go through that when they start their journey, because they have no idea what is in store. A lot of the things I'm doing, I've never seen someone do.
Hmm.
So I don't have a roadmap. I don't have an inspiration. I don't have a motivation. I don't have a mentor. I don't even have support or finances half the time from anyone else. So I have to do everything myself, and I have to be creative and innovative and inclusive. So when I included my story, it's to be like, hey, you can do it too, because I'm not anything special. I included my story to humanize the entire subtext of the book. So if people are reading like, oh, this guy wrote a book, this guy's doing this guy's doing that, he can't relate, or he doesn't know my story. I'm like, no, I just wanted to do it, so I did it. There's nothing special about me.
It's always something special about somebody that can do things, like write a book or some of the things that you do. Never say there's nothing special about you, because it's always something special about somebody who will take their ideas and put it out there. So, congratulations on this. Now, in this book, the in your businesses, what part of this book are you at now? Like, are you a beginner? Are you a middle? Or are you a finisher?
That's the funny thing about the chapter. So the
Uh-huh.
book is for anyone, because
Right.
if you're doing multiple things, you can be in multiple different stages at any time. So
Hmm.
for me, I'm beginning my author chapters. I'm
Okay.
beginning to getting to writing. I'm beginning to do pop ups. I'm beginning to do events and craft shows. I'm beginning, my first book signing will be July 1st. So I'm beginning to even, come out with ideas for that, because I've never seen it. I've never been to one, let alone one done professionally and one done to how I would prefer it to be done. So um, that stage I am beginning, because I don't know what it takes. I've never seen it done. So I'm beginning that chapter. In terms of, let's say, nonprofit, I'm finisher, because we already have a food pantry and a clothing pantry that we run every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon and every Saturday morning. So we've already set everything up in place, and now it is a system that is intact, or it is a system that is consistent. We're one of the most consistent food pantries in the entire city. So that part I finished. So the book is for everyone, and depending on what parts of your life that you are doing or planning on starting, planning on branching out, planning on adding more to what you are already doing, it's for anybody. For me, I have a bunch of different, unfortunately, a bunch of different talents and a bunch of different things I'm doing simultaneously. So
Hmm.
all those chapters are everywhere. But the great thing about it is, because I finished one chapter, it allows me to use the talents and the skills that I've gained from that chapter in beginning a new chapter. So, wherever you're at or wherever I'm at, it doesn't matter if you are being consistent in whatever you do, and you are
Hmm.
always looking to learn from whatever you do, because life is full of so much synchronicity that if you pay attention to it, you can always find the similarities.
I wanted to know. I know this. What stage of your life did you decide I was going to write a book?
A day before I started writing it.
So
so
you didn't wait like, okay, you ain't had the idea like, okay, I'm gonna write a book. I'm gonna write a book and stagulate on it, and then be like, okay, like give me the steps of like.
Oh, I will. I'll give you the entire. I'll give you the entire timeline. It
Hmm.
started in December of 2022,
Hmm.
December 13th, or I want to say the 12th. December 12th. I said, you know what? The year is ending. I know where I'm going. This next year is going to be crazy. Let me sit down. Let me write to myself. Let me focus on myself, which led to a note to self. It was supposed to initially be a exercise. It was supposed to initially be just a prompt, maybe a few pages, whatever that I needed to get down to tell myself, to remind myself who I am, to remind myself where I'm going, to reaffirm myself or affirm myself. And then as I got to thinking, I'm like, this isn't going to be just a few pages. This isn't going to be just a few pages. So that same day, I came out with the title. I knew it was going to be a book. I didn't know how long the book was going to be, but I knew it definitely was going to be a couple pages. And even though this book is a short read, it's like 88 pages. So it still is a compact book, only because of the fact I didn't want to add literally any fluff. So like anything that I mentioned, which is why I kept my personal life to a minimum, because I wanted people to relate to this as they were reading it. So when I started December 14th. And every day from December 14th to January 14th, I sat down at my laptop like I am now, and I wrote at least an hour. I finished the book January 14th. And the only reason I can tell you these facts very succinctly is because it's all on my Facebook. I need to do an album so I can actually give people one place to look at everything. But I literally went live through the entire process. So every single day that I wrote, unless I literally could not go live, is documented. So from the start of the book, from the inception to thinking to whatever it is, to I finished writing January 14th. Then after that, I had to do the editing process for my manuscript. Then I had to do any revisions, and we finished the book, uh, fully finished the book February 16th. And then we had to send it out to the publisher for a few weeks, and it launched on my birthday, the day before my birthday, actually. This was
Hmm.
the manifestation that I had for myself. I said I was going to be a published author before I turned 26. I got the notification March 7th that the book is now live. It's Facebook, it's Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. So from December 14th to March 8th, we said, let's write a book. We wrote the book. We finished the book. We edited the book. We published the book in less than 3 months.
Have you ever thought about this book being as big as you thought it was going to be right now? Because it's kind of blowing up a little bit as
No,
quickly.
I did not. So I published the book in March, but I had to take it down before the end of the month because my initial publisher didn't follow all the agreements.
Okay.
So I wasn't published to every place that I should have been published, which for me is a big thing because I don't know how to say this. Anybody can get published. So when I
Hmm.
say there's nothing special about me, I mean that in the best possible way because anybody can do what I do. and I go live and I talk about it so much because I want people to do it, but to do it the best that they possibly can. So, no knock on anyone else. I didn't want to go the self-publisher route, pay a couple $100, just get it on, Amazon.
Mhm.
It's great, but it doesn't pay me as well. I wanted to be the owner of my intellectual property. So I had to take it down before we hit April. Then I literally just got it republished at the start of June. So it's
Mhm.
not even been, a full 7 weeks that it's been out. I just got my physical copies in June. Um, the first order was only 100, only because it is expensive to get your own books, unless you
Mhm.
like buy in bulk or you buy the cheap way. Didn't want to do that either. So I only ordered 100 books. I wasn't expecting to sell out of the 100 books in 2 weeks. My goal was a book a day, 30 books a month. I'm cool. I'm cool. I had to postpone my pop up. I was going to do it later today. That's why I rescheduled the podcast. I had to postpone it
Mhm.
yesterday and today because I sold out of all my books. Um, so I had to make another order and I had to double that order. So I just ordered 200 a few days ago. It should be here before the next pop up Saturday. Um, we have the ebook. It will be on
I was just
Amazon.
about to ask about that
Yes.
because before I ordered this, I was looking for the ebook because
Yep.
I rather do the ebook because
Yep.
I stay on my phone most of the time, doing
Exactly.
social media stuff. So, to put my phone down and actually pick up a book, when I can read the book on ebook or have
Yeah.
the book read to me, either or. I was
Yes.
looking for it because I pay for the audio on the Amazon audiobook. So I was looking for it. So I was just about to ask you that.
Yes. Yes. No. So we have the ebook. And that's another reason why I went live and I'm going through the process with everybody that follows me is because like you just said, not everybody's going to sit down and read. I would love them to read it. I made it a short read for that very particular reason. Like if you have 2 hours to kill, you can finish the book that day. um, but an ebook is more accessible. So we have the ebook. We will be doing the audiobook very soon. Um, I just really wanted to see how things are going so far. I haven't yet done the book launch and anything, so I felt comfortable leaving that to another time because I wanted everyone to have something in their hand, tangible, so that they can reread it again. So one of my favorite books, "Who Moved My Cheese," and then a second book is "I Moved Your Cheese." It's a book that's very similar to the size of my book, actually a little bit smaller, and it is a book that you can read and reread at later stages in your life, and you'll still be like, "Huh, that was good to remind myself," or "Huh, I didn't catch that the first time." So I've made it that way so that people can have it with them and learn from it for a while. But yeah, no, I do want to have all the options, and I was not expecting so much support because I am not a prideful person, but I'm also not a person to expect anything from anybody, especially from the people that are closest to you. I've learned in other businesses that it's not the people that you think are your friends or that you call your family that will support you first. It's people that never have met
You
you.
know what to say?
It's people that have never met you in real life. Like I literally have
Mhm.
people that know me because I'm so transparent, like on social media, have never seen me in real life. As far as they know, I don't even exist
Mhm.
outside of Facebook, Instagram, and my website. And these are the people that, hey, I'll buy a book. Hey, let me get two. One for my nephew, one for my grandson, one for my boyfriend, one for my husband. Yeah, I'll share it. They're telling me like, hey, when's the book sign? You got to get on this. So I wasn't expecting it to not just have so many initial responders, but to help so many people so significantly. So like already, people, whether they have been trying to write a book or the process that I've shown them, they're like, hey, I now feel more motivated to do what I've been lying to myself about doing for months or for years. So I was very adamant on, you want to write a book? Write that book. I started the next day. And I wasn't expecting, it to be so quick of a response to impact people, because most authors don't necessarily see a return. And I don't just mean monetary, I mean like a return on readers. Because like family doesn't count, friends don't count. Those will typically be your first, in any business, in any entrepreneur status, those will typically be your first sales. Those will typically be your first clients, whatever the case may be. But when you
Mhm.
actually check your statements and you're like, I sold 140 books. I don't know 140 people. How did how did it happen? How did
Like
this
I only
happen?
know like 8 people, like who bought my book.
Listen, I have two friends, so I don't
Like,
I don't know how it
you sound
happened.
like my friend. She's like, I only got 3 friends.
I
But
don't know how
everybody
it
comes
happened.
see her DJ, so it's just like, okay. But this is a great read, and the fact that you made it small enough is a good seller because again, people don't really have time to nowadays to pick up books, and social media and stuff is taking over. So most of the time, people have phones in their hands and things of that nature. Again, when I was working overnight, I took a few, like when I had time to not fool with people, I will prop this open and read it. It's a great motivation. I'm gonna tell you that because I was reading it and it was basically telling me, because with my podcast and stuff, I've been doing it for a couple years now, and I'm at the point of like it's just not really starting to really, get some taking off
Right.
fish to it. So in the beginning, I was like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I love doing it, but I had to realize like I'm not doing it for everybody. I'm actually doing it for me. That's how I started. And I want to keep going. So once I read this book, it was like, oh, okay. I, I see now, So it kind of helped me with my focus on, okay, I'm still in the beginning stage, working towards the middle, and it's going to be a while but before I make it to the finishing part. So I wanted to thank you for that because, me actually picking it up and ordering it. I also ordered it because I want to support you because you have been supporting me. So I want to support and add to the upcoming author that you are becoming. So congratulations on this. It's a great read. So if y'all ain't got it, go cop it because this is good. It's not that long now. Some of y'all in this new generation probably can't really read that good, but the book not that long and it's real easy, to
Exactly. I
read.
didn't I didn't use I didn't use any big words or anything like that. Like I said, it is straightforward.
It's very motivational, and I think who actually buys it will take it in, and especially people who are starting businesses and things like that. Like, let's get into like some of your other stuff. Like, I watch you on TikTok. You do your commentary as you working out. Okay, you a fitness buff. You stay in the gym. So what made you get into actually hooking yourself up to a mic in the gym and be like, I would just go with it. Because
Um,
some of that should be funny. I ain't even lie. I like this dude crazy. Go ahead.
it's it's my intimate time. So
Uh-huh.
when I do my I haven't done a podcast this year so far, but when I have done my podcast or when I go live or when I talk,
Hmm.
that's me. That's
Mm.
time that I really feel like I can think, I can talk, and I'm heard.
Mhm.
So when I got the mic, I was not expecting so many intrusive thoughts to come out. Whenever I see something, my mind goes and then my mouth opens, or sometimes that's when I get my most motivational things for myself because I have to prop myself up. People are like, "Oh, you're in the gym, you're so motivational." I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like people think that just because you do something so much, you want to do it. No, it actually means I want to do it less than what you want to do.
Right.
I can get through 4 days in a row. I don't want to do this. It's Friday. I want to sleep in. I want to eat whatever. I'm not thinking about that. But when I got the mic, it was the next step. So I had already begun to tie it into the book. I had already begun to record myself. I had already begun to help people in their fitness journey, and then to actually get back into personal training and fitness coaching. That was just the next step. So I wanted to actually give that 100%. And with that giving 100%, when I do the videos and explain exercises to people, I needed the mic. Or when I wanted to say something in the moment, I needed that mic. Literally, my highest reel so far did 10,000 on Facebook. We're at like 30,000 on Instagram. And all I was saying was talking to myself because I think I was like shoulder pressing 180, maybe 200 pounds. I normally get it. I didn't get it. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, why didn't I get it? It was depressing. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I was gonna leave. I was gonna leave.
Mhm.
I dropped the weight so hard. I was gonna leave. And then I was like, no, give it a few minutes. Let's try it again. I hit my normal set, and then in that moment, I'm like, don't complain to God about the weight that you have to lift when you told Him that you wanted to get stronger. And in that moment, I was like, that's why I got the mic because I wasn't like forcing anything. I wasn't trying to make content. I don't like editing. I don't like doing anything that's outside of who I am and what I want to do and help people. So I'm not trying to do the trends. I'm not trying to do the new dance. I'm not trying to do any of that. So the mic was the easy way to be like, hey, you're already doing this. Let's make it better. So that was just the middle phase. And then when I actually get to making all of the classes and the courses, that'll be the finishing phase.
The people are drawn to authentic people. They, people make it quickly with trying to be somebody else, but it don't last long. When you authentic, people draw to that and they stay longer because sometimes they see themselves in you or they see you in somebody else. By you doing that is very authentic because you're showing who you are in a vulnerable space, you
Yep.
know. So I give props to you on that because your vulnerability, again, you're in a safe place. You go there to train, what I'm saying? People usually not comfortable in the gym, so you being there, dropping them weights, grunting, and sometimes you can't pick them up sometimes, but you go back and do them again. Like, it's a motivational tool. In all the things that you do, I see the motivation in it all when it comes to finishing what you started.
That's
Have
actually a
you
good point
ever?
that you that's actually a good point that you made because a lot of people don't post when they fail. So
Mhm.
I've so far to this point, I'm kind of even. So I post every day, so it's hard to be even like with the successes and the fails. But every single time that I failed, that's what I want to post more than anything. Like even if I had
Mhm.
a bomb workout and I missed like two or three things in that moment, that's what I find the most important because everybody's like, oh, you do this, you're good. And I'm like, no, I still want to push myself. And with pushing yourself comes failure. but I would not be as strong. I would not be as consistent. I would not be as fit. I would not be as determined if I didn't fail. And that has motivated me more than anything. So if I miss a
Mhm.
weight, now me and that weight are beefing until I get it back. Like whatever the exercise is, we are now enemies till I get that back. And that motivates me more than, oh, yeah, I did it. Oh, yeah, I could lift this. Oh, yeah, I'm doing whatever. But it's that moment where I can't do it, or I didn't
Mhm.
do it. And I thought I could, or, I was timid. That has taught me to be like, no, you know who you are. Remind yourself, and you can't go into it half minded. So, even with that, that's another thing why I got the mic, because I can be myself. Instead of just posting the workout videos, instead of just posting what everyone else posts, I can actually post what means more to me, and that's when I fail. That's when things aren't the easiest, because it's real easy to post. Oh, yeah, post a few seconds of you doing a workout. It looks great. Post the last few seconds of that workout. It doesn't
Mhm.
look so great. People are like, "Oh my gosh, you're so handsome." Nobody ever comes up to you in the gym. I'm like, you don't see how I look in the gym. You don't see how I look in the gym. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Y'all be up in there just rough. It just be like, God, dog. It be like, why is it so aggressive up in here?
Sometimes you gotta be. Like I said, till you get that weight up, you and the weight beefing, man. It's not friendly. Like when everything's good. Oh yeah, cool. I feel great. But man, it ain't working. It's aggressive. It is aggressive.
You're a personal trainer, correct?
Yep.
Do you personal train personally or do you do personal train online?
I do both. The reason I do
Okay.
both is because personal trainers are very expensive. I'm much more affordable, but even in that, I want people to learn for themselves.
Hmm.
So, in any business that I have, I preach autonomy. So, it's not that I don't want to work with you. You want to work every day? Let's work every day.
Hmm.
That's not cheap. Like I only
Right.
charge 40. Most trainers start at 60. If you go to a
Hmm.
gym, they're charging 75, 80
Hmm.
per exercise. I mean per session. So, I'm literally, if not 30% less or half of any other trainer. But even
Hmm.
then, you go 3, 5 times a day, 3, 5 times a week, you're looking at 400 a month or 800 a month. That's a lot.
Hmm.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I created the training program so I can literally give you the same information, which is why I got the mic. I can literally talk you through the exercise in my videos. So I record all the exercises I do. I can show you everything that I would show you in the gym, and you would literally only have to pay $60 a month. And I would follow up with you uh, once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on your goal and how often you want to go. And then we switch all the training from there. So that's a lot more affordable and easier for a lot of people. The only excuse that people have from that point is, oh, I need someone to train me. So for me, I try to
Hmm.
get a lot of that mindset like, no, you really don't, because it's a very dependent mindset. So if you feel like you need somebody else to motivate you, or if you feel like you need someone else to help you get to where you want to get to when you can do everything yourself, that's the mindset that I want to, take away.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. I wanted to get that out there also because that's one of your businesses that you do besides being an author now. I also want to talk about your photography. Are you still doing
No,
that? What?
I gave it up
Why?
temporarily, temporarily.
Why did you give it up? You
I
have too much on your plate?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I love people, and I don't want to be in a space where I don't want to be in a space where people make me not want to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Dealing with folks.
So in terms of the book, in terms of me doing my podcast, in terms of me motivating, in terms of everything, it's not always I'm telling you. It is a reciprocal relationship, but it's a better
Mhm.
relationship than a lot of the clients I've had, especially in the city of Milwaukee.
Mhm.
I'll say that. It wasn't fun. So I gave my camera equipment and stuff away. Uh, I sold the camera and equipment, but I gave a lot of the other stuff away just to help people. And I have not gotten it back yet. And if I do, it will probably just be for myself, and maybe the occasional odd wedding or whatever.
So who take your photos? You don't take your photos anymore?
I do, but I haven't taken photos in a while.
Uh
So like last year, man, I was doing a I was doing a photo shoot like every other week.
mm,
But that was my goal. So last year, my
mm,
manifestation was, to be in 12 magazines. So I did like 20 photo shoots. I ended up getting into like 130.
mm,
But that's why I just set goals for myself. And towards the end of the year, I was just like, I'm cool with that goal. We'll put that to the side for now because it's not fulfilling me in the way that I would like it to, or it's
mm.
not helping me get to the places that I want to get to now. So it's like, oh, it's fun. It's cool. People hit me up. I'll still do, modeling or photography jobs. But in the moment, I'm more so in my planting phase. I want to plant things in people. I want to water, things that have already been planted into people and help them flower.
The podcast I wanted to get into. When did you decide to start doing that?
Great question. Great question. I couldn't even tell you.
You just want
Um,
to.
it was a way for me to think things through.
Hmm.
So all of the topics that I have done so far have been topics that either when talked about by men are very one-sided and misogynistic or not very well articulated. So when it
Hmm.
comes to like men's mental health and things like that, um, I can articulate things in a certain way that a lot of men cannot, have not, or are too afraid to.
Hmm.
Um, and I've never really cared about what anybody thought. So it was more so just a vocal diary for me.
Hmm. I was you was on live one day and I was looking at it. I pop in and out every once in a blue moon on people pages, even though people think I'm on Facebook, I'm really just on there to post and promote.
Yep.
When I'm on there, because people see me on there all day, but they don't understand like it take a lot of time to post and promote on your social media and stuff like that, especially when you have a lot of different pages. So I pops in when I see the live thing if I'm on social media. I pop in and see what you talk about. You was talking about at this time place older women.
Mm-hmm.
You date older women, um, and sometimes they are not mature because they older, right?
Yes, I always say
You
age
are
doesn't equal maturity.
right. You are 26 years old.
26, just turned 26 3 months ago.
You present yourself as
30,
a
32. For people that don't know, this is how I dress every day. And this style is
every
definitely,
day.
definitely
You just
always.
like that every day. Like I know you. I see you like out and stuff like that. So I'm like, people don't understand. Like literally, if they go back and watch two of my podcasts, you was on two of my podcasts before. Like you literally dress like this all the time. Like a woman that has to be with you has to be mature, and she has to compliment you in the way you move. You know what I'm saying? Because you dress like that every day. And a woman has to be able to throw on a dress or sundress or something. She just can't be out with you in some jeans and stuff, and y'all walking hand in hand. So
I
I
wouldn't I
would.
wouldn't go that far because I still can look good in dress pants and a sweater. That's typically
Uh-huh.
dress down.
Right, right,
It's
right.
more so how you present yourself. So like
Uh-huh.
I don't think I'm handsome because I look good. I think I'm handsome because people can feel my energy. Like people feel safe around me. People feel very comfortable to just talk a lot.
Hmm.
To just like have this therapist vibe, I guess. But I don't necessarily have a, you know, type or anything. It's just
Hmm.
like be mature enough to communicate and
Hmm.
just connect. Because like I don't really care about age, race, height, weight at all. Because like a lot of women think like, oh, you look so good, you don't date big women. Like, shh, okay. What did I post on my Facebook the other day? I said, big backs can still get bent over.
I was basically saying that to say, is the saying that you've been here before.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard that?
I've heard that about myself quite a few
Yeah.
times.
Like people like you have been here before. Like it's basically like you in another life you was somebody else and you came back. But the way you carry yourself is smooth. You know what I'm saying? I never seen really too many young men who carry themselves, not even older men, again, like my age, carry themselves like you carry yourself. So
It gets
that's
harder
what's
when you
up.
get older. A lot of people stop caring when you get older. So it's not a lot of men that dress this way every day in general. But as you get
Mhm.
older, a lot of dudes just stop caring.
Do you think like when you get older you will stop caring?
Oh no, oh no. When I get older, I'll be a CEO. When I get older, I'll be an
Hmm.
investor. So
Hmm.
I dress this way because I am a boss. When I actually
Hmm.
have the things that I control and help people and invest in people, I'll be worse because now I'll
Hmm.
have like buku bucks to just spend on the most craziest thing. Like it'll be Tuesday. I'll be walking down the street in like a white Dior 2-piece double breasted suit. It's like, where are you going? The store. I gotta get groceries.
Or going to the store or get dressed. I'm going to the store. You going to the store next? Yes, this is what I put on. That is crazy, but that's what sets you apart from everybody else. And that's kind of what caught my eye because it was just like when you first came to do my first podcast, you had came with somebody, it was men in depression. Um, that was the first one. How's you dealing with that? Because you openly talked about that. How is that doing better?
Hmm. It is. It is.
Okay.
I feel like when you are operating a lot more in your purpose, but more so in your pleasures, if they're good pleasures, depression doesn't necessarily weigh the same. So at the time, I was doing jobs I didn't like. At the time, I
Hmm.
I was still doing photography, dealing with crazy clients and things like that. So uh, I was dealing with things that didn't necessarily make me happy, even though everything I did
Uh-huh.
was not to make everyone happy, but I did with the intent of making sure that everyone around me was, taking care of everyone around me was safe and whatever the case is. So I kind of got over that. Um, I won't say got over it, but I'm in the stage of my life now to where if I am putting in the effort, the work, the time to make sure that this point in my life, this present moment is peaceful, is contact, is impactful, even if I'm not happy or enjoying the moment, it's
Mm-hmm.
leading to something. So it's part of the equation that equals that happiness, however long it may last. It's part of that equation that equals that joy. It's part of that equation that equals me, trying new things. And a lot of people want to take that away, which is why they end up in depression. A lot of people, don't necessarily realize what that is, and they'll keep themselves in depression. I quit my job. I didn't feel like doing anything that I didn't want to do. It wasn't a bad job. I just realized I don't want to have to deal with anything. Because I told myself, like, it's not horrible. I can deal with it. It's good money. I literally am not doing anything. Like, it's the easiest job I've ever had. But I was just like, I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that. And then around the time I was just doing a lot of self work, and I read, I believe it was the 4 Hour Work Week, that said if money is your biggest concern, you're not working hard enough or you're not thinking smart enough. And at the moment, I was like, you know what? This was another step in my chapters, because anytime that I've grown, I have had to check myself and be like, let's kick it up a notch. Let's go to the next gear. Because I've always been the top gear in any room, in any area. So it's kind of harder to be like, it's kind of hard to tell somebody, hey, I'm not doing anything. Because they'll always tell you, you're doing the most. So it's like, no, I can do more. That's what I'm saying. So I had to, kick myself in the butt and say, hey, you're not thinking smart enough. You're not trying hard enough. You're not being as ingenuitive as you can. You're not being as revolutionary as you can. And you need to leave, whether it's this job, whether it's a friend, whether it is a relationship, whether it's a possible relationship. If it is not, if it is contributing to possible depression, or if it is not contributing to learning knowledge, if it is not contributing to you growing in some capacity, I throw it away.
Mm-hmm. I started this podcast out of depression. Um, because I'm not the person that burden people with what I got going on. I'm the person that people come talk to. So I decided to get behind the camera and just talk to the internet. Basically what you do, is, get on there and just speak. I had a lot of questions. I wanted to talk. So I understand what you're saying. I do something that I love to do, which is talk to the camera. Now, I tell people this all the time. Face to face, I'm shy. Like, you know, people be kind of shocked about that. Ooh, but yeah, but me behind the camera, I can talk all day. Um, Telling people my issues when it comes to my personal life and stuff like that, I'd rather put it out there in a bulk than put it out there with somebody else who might go tell somebody else who might go tell somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I just rather people hear the truth from me instead of it being watered down from somebody else of what's going on in my life. Um, with that being said, have you ever thought about writing a book about your struggles with depression?
Not singularly that focus, but my
Hmm.
second book is actually a tell-all about the first trimester of my life. So in my mind, my life is split into three parts. This
Hmm.
first part has been planting. This
Hmm.
first part has been growing. This first part has been learning and working. So
Hmm.
the second book is titled Learning Life Lessons Through Love.
Hmm.
So it's going to be all of the lessons that I've learned in relation to the relationships that I learned them from. So whether it was myself, whether it was a job, whether it was my family, my parents, my girlfriends at the time, whatever the case is. Uh, that is my second book. So it will be, everything up until 26, because now this year has started the second trimester of my life. This year has started the second part of my life, and I am a different person. So with the second book, after that's out, everything else is thrown away.
Mhm.
So that's the importance of the book, not to necessarily spill all my tea, but to get everything out. Because I've been holding on to a lot of other people's baggage.
Mhm.
I've been holding on to a lot of other things. And even that ties into depression. So as a man, oftentimes you have to be the person that everybody talks to. You have to be the person that makes sure everybody's safe, especially if you're just always around women. Like my
Mhm.
mom, I have two sisters, no brother. Uh, Literally have two friends. They're both male, but they're in Illinois. So it's just like literally surrounded by women all the time. Uh,
Mhm.
it's just different. So I just learned different things, and that will be the second book. As far as overall, I can't say I'll never write a book on depression, uh, but I feel like that singular topic might be best suited for other people.
People. Okay. And before we wrap this up, I have a few more things. You was talking about you in the process of becoming a boss and all this. Where do relationship and kids and stuff fit into all what you got going on? Like, are you gonna take the time out to, or you just gonna act like that don't exist? Like, how is that working out for you?
It hasn't come up yet, so I've literally not even been in a relationship to where I was comfortable enough to propose. So
Okay.
even though I've always wanted marriage since probably 14, it's
Hmm.
never gotten to that point. And I always felt that if I was a dad, I'd probably be a stepdad first, honestly, because like everybody got kids now, so it's just like, yeah, I
Not
probably
everybody, but I
most people.
understand you're still young,
No,
but
like typically most women, not even just
mhm,
in my age group, but like
mhm,
there's a very big majority of women that if they don't have a kid, the biggest reason they don't is because they've already got an abortion.
mhm,
So there's a lot, and it's not a problem. I'm just saying that I always felt that if I was going to have kids, that I would just jump into that role. So it
mhm.
wouldn't necessarily have to be like a stage, I guess. But I've never gotten to that part. I've never I've never been able to find a woman that is accountable enough, that can communicate well enough to secure me in knowing that, okay, cool, you're building an enterprise. This is
Mhm.
going to be the queen of that galaxy.
Mhm.
Can't make that happen. She can't communicate. Can't make that happen. She can't
That's
be.
true.
Can't make that happen.
That, that was the
She's not
second
even.
of my podcast that you was on. Women communicate? Can women do women want a man that communicate? Remember that one?
Yes, I do, and
So,
that's been my life. So you got me on the right podcast, but that's been my life. And like even now, I used to think it was cute or like a positive thing, but
mhm,
a lot of women get intimidated by me, and it's because of the fact that I'm actually what they want.
mhm.
Like, oh, you don't seem to have any problems. I was scared to talk to you. That used to sound cool to me. Now that's a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Have a good day. um, but yeah, just never.
they lack self confidence. That's all that is. You know.
I've never gotten to that. I wish it was that simple or easy. But like I said, I am 26 now, and since 15, I've been dating older, a lot older. So
Yeah.
I I,
Well,
I have experiences from, let's say, 18 years old to, I believe 44 was the oldest.
Mhm.
46, 44 or 46. So I wish I could just say it was a simple thing. I wish I could just say, oh, it's age, or oh, it's history, or oh, it's just background, or it's complicated. Or at least it has been complicated. I'm not a complicated person. I'm actually a very simple
You
person.
think you're not a complicated person? Or
I'm not
did
a
somebody tell you you're not a complicated person?
Oh, everybody tells me. I was like, oh, you're so
Okay.
simple. Like, oh, I
Okay.
don't, I don't. Here's the thing. A lot of women don't listen when you tell them what you want.
Hmm.
Like, okay, let's say a woman asks you, what do you want for your birthday? You tell her what you want for your birthday, but she gets you what she wants to get you for your birthday. That doesn't make me complicated. That makes her not
Complicated.
listen. So
Right.
when that man doesn't appreciate it, it's like, oh, you're complicated. Like, no, I told you exactly what I wanted. You just didn't think that candy or a dinner would have been sufficient. So you did what
Right.
you wanted to do. And that translates into relationships, because if you're treating me how you treated the dude who didn't even care about you, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I gotta start popping in and listening more to when you have your podcast and stuff to see.
I'm going to start back soon. I actually haven't done one all year.
Okay,
This is
okay,
the
okay.
first podcast I've been on all year.
All right. Well, when you decide to have guests, I'll be glad to join you for a conversation. I want to wrap this up because I know you're busy out here in these streets. Um, I'll be looking forward to the second book. I enjoyed this. This was very, very inspirational. And again, like I said, you reading this helped me figure out my path with what I'm doing now. So I applaud you on this and
I appreciate
great
that.
success on it. I always tell everybody that I'm interviewing now. I'm getting my interviews out now because I see big things coming for you guys. And when y'all decide to stop answering my inboxes, I will have these interviews all day. So
Exactly, exactly. Hey, come to the book signing. Like I said,
I'm not
next
in
time.
Milwaukee,
Okay.
but I'm not in Milwaukee anymore. I am in Memphis. I live in Memphis. Um, uh,
Congratulations.
yeah, I will be in Milwaukee. I come to Milwaukee every few months because I still work there, and the podcast is based there. But when I do come, I hit you up so we can meet up and get my book signed.
Of course.
I'm dead ass, like for real. I'll be that way in August. Um, I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate you taking out the time to talk to me, speak with me again for a third time. Um, much love, much. I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing as a young black man coming up in this world. Boss status. Give everybody your handles so they know where to find the book and your social media.
Yeah. Facebook, Simeon Simien Robinson Robinson. Instagram, Simeon.Robinson, first dot last name. But my website is linktree.topchefent. That's Top Chef ENT. That'll literally have all of my social medias, all of my links to my websites, all of the links to the books, and the upcoming events.
Okay. And that is all, guys, for our show today. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Talk is Cheap with Kiana J. I am your host, Kiana J. If nobody told you today, I'm going to tell you I love you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.